Well, I'm back again. I've been away for a little bit, and I still am not going to do much as far as going out digging for a while. I've been ill. I had COVID. I'm still getting over it. So, in the meantime, I thought I'd throw in a little video about uh, some confusion that I see with people who collect bottles. And there's a lot of people in the hobby today that just got into it in the last maybe 5 to 10 years, maybe the last couple months. I see more videos on people digging bottles, and this might help them a little bit on dating the dump and dating the kind of bottles that they're coming up with. I'm going to focus on English bottles because that seems to be the focus of a lot of confusion when people find these bottles in areas where they believe there's a lot of old stuff, and they come up with machine-made bottles, or they think they're machine-made bottles because a lot of people don't even know the difference. These are the most difficult ones to tell, and I'm going to try to do my best to illustrate the difference. These green bottles that you see in front of me are English. The clear milk bottle is also English, and that English mineral water, a dark green one, is also English. Now, England started producing glass way before the United States did. Goes back to Roman times. So they're advanced in making glass, and it developed quicker than the United States. The United States didn't have the capital. There wasn't a lot of money involved, and they were importing a lot in the early days. So England was a little ahead of us when it came to producing glass. They did a lot of it. There's a lot of bottles out there made in England. Now, the most common bottle that you're going to find from England are mineral water bottles, and they came in various sizes. There's torpedoes, there's round bottoms, there's semi-round bottoms, and some of these here that you're going to see are the basic shape of a mineral water and ginger ale. Ginger ale also came in these style bottles. Now, when you look at a round bottom bottle, the first thing you're going to notice is that most of them are going to have an applied blob top, which means that they took a ribbon of glass and they tooled it on the body of the bottle, which generally is a two-part mold. Now, the seam, if you look at it, it's going to go all the way up to the neck, and then there it's going to stop, and the rest of the bottle is going to be hand finished, and there will not be any seam. Clearly, you'll see the seam at the bottom and a mold mark in most cases. Now, this style bottle was made so that the cork could stay moist and stay in the bottle without popping out. A lot of these mineral waters had aerated water in them, or ginger ale, as I mentioned. Now, that style carried on well into the machine-made bottle period. Now, England started making machine-made bottles as far back as 18, I think it was 87. Yeah, a guy actually developed the first semi-automatic bottle machine. Now, it still had to have a man come drop the gob of glass into the parson, which is where the glass bottle was formed, and then there would be a pipe of a jet of air that would expand the glass into that parson, into that mold. And most times they needed to have another section come across to form the lip of the bottle, because for some reason they did not figure out how to blow the whole thing in one piece for narrow neck bottles. Now, in that respect, these bottles carried the exact same shape, but this time they were automatically made. Now here you can see definitely a seam going all the way up the neck of the bottle and into the lip, and that is a machine-made bottle. And although it's made exactly or almost exactly, this is semi round bottom. Where I say semi because the this is where the bottle generally the machine had a valve mark here that blew the glass in. These bottles were usually blown upside down, and so then it was all just a matter of, you know, just keeping a complete mold and putting it on the neck. Now there is a seam that runs around the bottom, and because this is a semi-automatic machine, that means that the Parson was first made and then this came across. This was made sort of separate, but they did a good job. A lot of times this is offset, that seam. Now this came across, and this bottle probably goes back to 1895 to 1910, 1915, but they go even up into the First World War. These bottles were made exactly the same way in England. But by the time the crown tops came along, crown top bottles were made the same way. This is a semi automatic machine, but if you notice, there is an applied lip to this, and that was because at the same time the total machine-made bottles were made, there were still companies that had handmade bottles being made at the same time, and the old style of just using a crown cap mechanism put on to the Parson onto the body of the bottle, and then formed in that way. You can see it's pretty sloppy. And then again, you also have the machine-made bottle. This is even a round bottom, and I always wondered, why would they bother making these bottles still with a round bottom when now you have a crown cork which doesn't need to have an expanded cork inside the neck? Well, you know, old traditions die hard, I guess. And there you have a perfect example of a machine-made bottle, and made at the same time as these other machine-made bottles, but a different style. This one is a turn mold bottle, and it has an applied lip to it, and hand tooled, which is very English. And here you can see that it was a turn mold bottle. Hey, now milk bottles were one of the very first machine-made bottles to be produced, and in England there was no exception. And this one is a good example of an English machine-made bottle, probably from the 1930s, I assume, because it has a sort of a strange kind of cap closer there. But obviously this is a machine-made bottle, probably from the 30s or the 40s. Not much to it. Very plain looking bottle. But getting back to these, they were made by the millions, and the funny thing about them is that they didn't change until just before the First World War. About that time, this bottle became obsolete. They pretty much stopped making them round bottom bottles and semi-round. The semi-rounds still were being produced, but they were pretty much this kind of bottle now, which was a crown top. And green, this color green, this grass green, is a giveaway on an English bottle. Most English bottles had either this color, which is a dark green, and some even darker than that. And the clear, where you really just seen in milk bottles and prescription bottles, but then again, even in England, prescription we still had a green or bluish tint. Anyway, like I said, I will get out eventually once I start feeling better. It's rough. I thought, you know, a week ago I'd be fine and everything would be good, but this sort of takes your energy away. I've been coughing all night half the time, and I don't get much sleep, so I'm not doing too well in that department. Other than that, I'm feeling okay. In a matter of maybe another week, I'll be out there digging. Hopefully the weather we're going to hold out where I'm going to be able to go out there and beat the heat, as they say. And hopefully later on in the spring, I might be able to get up to New Jersey and renew the rest of that dig over there. So there's a little info on machine-made bottles and the confusion that English bottles will create when you're in a dump thinking that you're going to see a lot of handmade bottles, and then you start seeing machine-made bottles like this. They're old. I mean, this bottle's 100 years old, 110 years old. But as time goes on, machine-made bottles are going to get older, and that's just the facts. So there you have it. Everybody have a good day. I will talk to you soon. Bye.